In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 MLB games happening on May 17, 2022. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets. As we provide these videos on a daily basis, I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 2 betting picks a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. New York Yankees versus Baltimore Orioles. The New York Yankees continue to run roughshod over the competition as they head into this week's opening series with the Baltimore Orioles with 8 straight series wins. The Orioles had a rough weekend, getting swept in 3 straight by the lowly Detroit Tigers. Game 2 of this 4-game series will pit Yankee right-hander Jameson Taillon against right-hander Spencer Watkins of the Orioles. The Yankees' league best record would be even better had they not dropped their guard and let the Orioles take a series from them back in mid-April. They clearly remembered that when they met again 2 weeks ago, as they put up 27 runs in a 3-game sweep. They'll be looking to do the same in this series after yesterday's 6-2 victory. The Orioles have kept themselves out of last place in the division for much of the year, but that's about the extent of their success. Baltimore was swept by the Tigers heading into this series, who have scored the least amount of runs this season. Now taking on New York, who has scored the 4th most. They'll be wishing this series wasn't a full 4 games. The Yankees won't have ace Jarrett Cole or red-hot Nestor Cortes on the mound, but they've been one of the best at the plate as well. Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton have been living up to the power that is expected from them, and Anthony Rizzo has been the perfect complement alongside them. That trio and the rest of the lineup should have no issues taking on Spencer Watkins on the mound for Baltimore. He hasn't faced the Yankees in any of their games yet this season, but he was just waxed in his last start. Watkins allowed 7 runs on 8 hits in just 3.2 innings, increasing his overall ERA to 5.19. One of the only ways to slow down the powerful bats of the Yankees is swings and misses. However, Watkins has yet to strike out more than 3 hitters in any start. If this hot New York lineup is being thrown pitches they can hit, this should be a long day for O's. So the New York Yankees money line is our full game side pick. I hate to sound too redundant, but the Yankees' offense has been very impressive this season. They're averaging 4.91 runs per game, and they've been able to score in more ways than simply relying on hitting home runs. This team has proven that they can hit for average, exemplified by their .242 team average. That's an important factor considering Camden Yards has been an under machine this year due to a lack of power numbers. If home runs are tough to come by, New York's offense still has the ability to drive in runs in other ways. On the flip side, while Jameson Taillon has been serviceable for New York this year, the O's have a .264 batting average against him in 53 at-bats. Cedric Mullins is 3-9 with 2 home runs, while Austin Hayes is 6-8 with a pair of doubles. Baltimore has faced Taillon twice this season, and they've scored 4 runs over 9.1 innings. Taillon has pitched well recently and should continue to do so in this spot, but will allow a minimum of 2 runs. The Yankees, however, should have a couple of big innings against Watkins and then get some good looks against a Baltimore bullpen that is not in the Yankees' pen's class. Expect a couple of long balls with men on base from the Yankees. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Chicago White Sox versus Kansas City Royals. It's an American League Central showdown as the Chicago White Sox and Kansas City Royals square off in Game 1 of a doubleheader on Tuesday afternoon. The White Sox took the opener with a 5-3 win in 10 innings, fending off a late Royals rally. Lewis Robert came up huge with a mammoth 2-run shot and extras to put the Sox ahead for good. The White Sox send Dylan Cease to the hill for the opener, while the Royals will counter with a pitcher still to be determined. The White Sox haven't been able to field their full complement of weapons due to injuries, and the Royals are struggling to get consistent run production. Chicago has at least rebounded a bit since a dreadful stretch of losing 10 of 11 games, winning 7 of 8 recently. That strong run was ended by the Yankees in their last series, but they are a far better team than the Royals. Chicago should also be out for revenge in this series. Kansas City hasn't won many games this season, but 2 of them were in the previous series against the Sox. Since then, the Royals have only looked worse, and they are now the 3rd worst team in terms of OPS and 4th worst for runs scored. It still seems as though they cannot find the right lineup construction with hyped rookie Bobby Witt Jr. They've had to shuffle several times, and Whit Merrifield outfield is nowhere near on pace for his 184 hits of 2021, Chicago can at least rely on their leadoff man, Tim Anderson, and Luis Robert has also been productive. If Yoan Moncada can repeat a performance like his 3 RBI game against the Yankees, the White Sox should have no issues outproducing the Royals. Neither bullpen has been overly impressive either. Therefore, the better lineup of the Sox should be the deciding factor, regardless of them not performing to last season's standards. So the Chicago White Sox money line is our full game side pick. Two of the lower scoring teams in baseball do battle in the opener of this split doubleheader. Kansas City comes in at 24th and the White Sox come in at 25th. Having said that, I'm going to take advantage of a modest run line with a Chicago team waiting to bust out against a rookie pitcher with control issues this season. The White Sox are starting to get key pieces back into the lineup and have veteran players that will come around at the plate and have a big enough track record not to be overly concerned with their current output. While neither team has performed well offensively to this point, there are valid reasons to anticipate this will change over the long haul. The Royals' offense sprung to life over the weekend and is averaging 7 runs per contest over their last 5 games. The White Sox also looks poised to get back on track going against a Kansas City pitching staff that ranks near the bottom of the league with a 4.68 ERA. With the pitching a question mark on Tuesday, look for Tim Anderson, Luis Robert, and Jose Abreu to help lead an offensive resurgence. Cease has been excellent this season but is coming off a down outing in his last start. Plus the over is 5-1 in the Royals' last 6. Over the projected total ISO or full game total pick. Houston Astros versus Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox continue in their efforts to upend the visiting Houston Astros in Tuesday's American League tilt. It has clearly been hard times for a Red Sox team coming into this matchup with a pitiful 5-9 home record. Meanwhile, the Astros have won 12 of their last 14 games with 5 of those victories coming on the road. Jose Urquidy is expected to toe the rubber as the starting pitcher opposite of Boston's Nathan Eovaldi. Both the Astros and Red Sox got off to slower starts to the 2022 season, but have looked completely different recently. The Astros have gotten hotter than the Houston humidity, while the Red Sox have been colder than a Boston blizzard. Great things were expected from both the Sox lineup and starter Nathan Eovaldi. While the bats have primarily been cold, Eovaldi has not been nearly as disappointing. Unfortunately, the Astros are heating up while Eovaldi has cooled off after his first 3 starts. Eovaldi has not been bad by any means, but his performance has dropped off in his 2 most recent outings. He's allowed 6 runs, double the amount he allowed in his first 3 starts combined. His innings have also decreased, which could be an issue with a struggling Boston bullpen that is approaching bottom 5 territory. Regardless, this is more about how well Jose Altuve, Yordan Alvarez, and company have been hitting. They aren't quite to their 2021 numbers just yet, but they're back in the top 10 in terms of OPS and nearing that mark for runs scored. Houston will need to continue their hot bats to support Jose Urquidy. He was having a good season up until his last start where he was pulled after 3 innings. However, he still only allowed a single run and his previous start was a scoreless 6-inning outing. With neither starter pitching their best, this game should come down to the Astros performing far better at the plate and Boston's struggling bullpen. Boston has the bats to light up the scoreboard on paper, but need to demonstrate that they can do so consistently before they can be trusted this season. I get the case to be made for the Red Sox after looking good for most of Monday's matchup, but the problem is that the success for Boston at home hasn't been sustainable for much of the season so far. On the flip side, I'm not a huge Jose Urquidy fan, but I don't love Nathan Eovaldi here, and he's not the kind of pitcher that makes Boston a favorite over a Houston team that's been the better team over the last couple of weeks. So the Houston Astros money line is our full game side pick. Jose Urquidy and Nathan Eovaldi have done pretty well in their respective careers against the opposing lineups. Boston has failed to get going offensively throughout the course of the year and need players like Trevor Story and J.D. Martinez to step up a bit more at the plate. The under has hit in 5 of the previous 7 Houston games against American League East opponents, as well as with it being 14-6-4 in Boston's previous 24 games. Boston is already struggling to generate runs consistently, and they'll be facing an Astros team allowing an average of 3.17 runs per game. Only the New York Yankees and Los Angeles Dodgers have a better run scoring allowance defensively. The pitching has been the strong part of this Astros team, and it isn't going to let up in a road meeting with a struggling Red Sox team slashing .235, .290, and .354. Jose Urquidy will do his job in ensuring this game doesn't get out of hand, and Houston's surprisingly talented bullpen will do the rest. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.